Alright guys, today's project is always another project. When you got a 2006 Polaris 700 here, my baby's getting old and I got to keep up on the maintenance on it if I want to keep using it. So today's project is my U-joints on my drive shaft. The front and the back is clunky. Clunk, 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 clunk. Every time you put in the gear, clunk, clunk, clunk. Every time you move. I replaced the ones in the back probably a month ago because I had to do it real quick. But I'm going to bring you guys along with me for the front one. And I also got a manifold leak. But that'll be another video. But I'm going to look at it while I'm in here messing with these U-joints. So let's get this thing up in the air and get this towel off so we can see what's going on. Alright guys, I'm just touching on some of the difficult parts that I think that's going to happen in this install. I'm trying to get to the back side of the shaft where it goes into the motor here, and I'm having to take this side panel off where the foot goes. So in the book it says take off the fenders, but I don't want to go through taking all the fenders off and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna try to see if I can just pry this out of here by lifting up on the fender here in the front, and hopefully I can do the same thing here in the back. And I should have cleaned this off before I started this, but that gives me access to the back of the drive shaft here. So I just want to show you guys that. We're gonna keep going at it. I forgot to add two things here. To take this off the bike, it's got four little push tabs, little plastic push tabs like a car here, and it had four Torx bolts here on the top, and we just took those off and it's loose. But one thing that help you is this tool here that it actually pops off car parts, but it's a good deal. It pops off the little push tabs, and I've been fighting with a screwdriver over the years, and I've tore up plenty of these. But with this tool, you just get it up on there and it pops out real easy. I mean, this is just a $10 Harbor Freight. You can get 5 in a pack, all different sizes. And I've been punishing myself for years using a screwdriver. So go out and get you one of these, what they call these, upholstery trim tools. Just want to let you know. Alright, I'm on the left side of the bike now. We got to get this roll pin out of the front of this U-joint here. I doused it down with some PB Blast to try to help lubricate it once I start getting it to move. Hopefully it's not that bad. So we just, like I said, this is a punch tool. It's all about having the right tools. Like I said, this is a nice long one. I got from Harbor Freight also. That way you can get in here and have some room to hit it. So hopefully it'll come on out. We can move on to the next thing, trying to get the front differential right here to move, because we need to move at least an inch or two to get the front of the U-joint out of the shaft here. So let's see if we can unloose some of these bolts that's holding this front differential in and get that to move. Okay, let's do a summary before I get too far. Back here in the back here is the motor mounts for the front motor mount. I took the 2 screws out of the motor mount in the back side of it, and it's one that's goes on the top. I took that out so I could get this bracket out the way. The book says just take the top one out, but I think I need to take it all out. So we did that. Then here on the front, I got the front differential loose. It was 4 screws, one right here, 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 and here. So we got good movement on that. And then on the left side of the bike, I took this motor mount loose here. Just the 1 screw here. This screw I couldn't get all the way out because of the pipe here, so I just took it the top part of the bracket off up the top for it to be the motor be loose. It's not terribly loose, but the book says that's the only thing I need to take apart. And we're gonna. I got the drive shaft almost out. I'm gonna set you up, guys, and see if I can wiggle this stuff around and see if I can get that last 1/4 inch of that drive shaft out. Alright, we finally got it out the front here, and tell you the truth, I think I could have did that without taking the bolts off of this engine, the motor mount, because the engine really didn't move, but it's going to be a booger bear to put it back on there trying to pry it like that, but we got it off. We'll worry about that part once we got to put it back on. So we should be able to just pull it out or pry it out, one of the two. Okay, I've got it start moving after a lot of cuss words and a lot of banging here. So hopefully it'll come on out now and stop being stubborn. I just had to lube it up real good with that PB Blaster. Finally got it out. Well, got it loose. I ain't got it out yet. Is that gonna be a problem? Now that I got it loose, can't get it out. I'm gonna get it out. Let me go on the other side and get it out. Alright guys, there it is. I finally got it out. As you can hear it, it's kind of shaky. It ain't super bad, but the back one was broke, so, but once you put the new one on there, you won't even hear that rattle. That rattle, that's all you hear when you're riding the bike. Rattle, 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 rattle. So, alright, let's take it to the bench. Okay, now we got it over here on the bench. You probably can't see it as well as I can. I barely can see it myself. I got a piece of wood here, and it just to protect my, this is a granite top. That's the reason I got that piece of wood there, just to protect that top. But you want to get something that it'll take the, that'll go around the outside, that won't be flush. Like I said, if I got that piece of wood and I hit on top of this yoke, it wouldn't go anywhere because the wood is stopping it. I just got something to get it off the ground, and a little socket. I'm trying to get the pressure off of this. It's a snap ring on both sides, one right here and one right here, and it's also snap rings on the inside, but we trying to get the outer yoke off right now. So what I did was I just hit it just a couple of times, try to get that pressure off of that snap ring that's inside there. And I got a little hook pick here, and I'm trying to grab the front of that snap ring, keeping my fingers out the way, because I don't care if it shoots across the room. We're not reusing it anyway. I picked it out, as you can see, hopefully you can see, it's coming out, and I'm just going to grab it on the back side, and it's a little snap ring. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. That's the way I found out, just to make it easier. Without that, it'd be pressure on that snap ring, and it won't move at all. See, that way they shoot out, and it's good. So I'm gonna take this over to my vise, and we're gonna see if we can hit on top of this and knock that metal part loose. Alright, now I got this over here in my vise. What I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to try to make a scribe mark in it, for I know the orientation is going to put it back the same way. I don't know if it's balanced that way, but the book said make sure you try to put it back in the same orientation. So I just got those both scribed right there. And what I'm going to get, I got a socket that's big enough to go over the top of this yoke, the inner bearing, and I'm going to drive down on top of it, trying to knock the yoke loose from the bearing. I'm just going to use my old beat up dead blow hammer here. Want to try to come out. Yeah, it's coming. My old vise don't want to hold it. You see how the top comes out? If we take it out of the vise, and flip it over and do the same thing for the other side, that should pop out real easy, hopefully. That's good. Now you should be able to take the yoke off, and we're going to do the same thing for the inner yoke, for the inner bearings here on this inner yoke. Okay, we going to get the inner bearing out of the inner yoke here. So I got it back in the vise. I'm going to get my socket. We're just gonna all the inner bearings gonna come out. Just flip it over. So I can get it propped up here. Okay, that was easier than I did the back ones. I did the back ones with the press, and this method is much easier. So let's go back to the bench and put the new one in. All right, we're going to insert the U-joint here, and we're going to just lightly tap in the top cap here, so it won't move. And we're going to insert the U-joint in that cap, so we can keep the needle bearings in there from moving around. We're going to do the same thing for the outside here on the other side. One of the needles came out. Alright, I just had some of these needle bearings fall out of this cap here. I just was trying to tap it in top of there. If that happens, just pick them up and just place them back in there. And I'm going to get some grease and then glob it in there to help those bearings stay in there, stay in place so they won't come out. So don't go, oh man, I messed it up. No, just put them back in there. They just placed in there, so it's not a big deal. And I'm not gonna tap on that cap again. I'm gonna take it over to the vise. We're gonna squeeze it with the vise to get them to squeeze in, and try to squeeze them in evenly. So back to the vise. Okay, what I've decided to do is I'm just gonna do one side at a time. I'm gonna try to get this one side going there straight. Then I will put the other side in and bring it in also. We're going straight with the boom on one side. This should be hard. It should be there goes. One straight up. Go down there. Leave up. Give it one. Hopefully we get straight in there. No, this is easy. You also in there. Just make sure your universal joint, its U-joint, is moving freely. Because you don't want to have to try to get that back off. The U-joint is still moving pretty freely. I can see the snap ring grooves in here. Both sides looks fairly even. So we're going to take this back to the bench and see if we can put the snap rings in. We might have to tap on it just a little bit to get the snap rings to sit in there. So let's go back to the bench. I know you guys can't see this, but I'm just trying to show you the steps. Hopefully that'll help more than actually seeing the actual snap ring snapping in there. This still need to come down some. I'm trying not to over push it down, because that universal joint will get tight and you won't be able to, it won't move right. But that tap helped a lot. Okay, that snap ring is in there. Now we need to do this top snap ring, and like I said, we're going to just tap the top of it down. Get us another snap ring. That one's in there. Okay, I'm good with that. So now the other deal, we just got to put the outer yoke on. Like I said, we want to get the mark that we made to line up with the other mark, and we want to do the same process. Alright guys, we got all the new universal joints, U-joints in. No more rattling. And now we're going to put it back on the bike here. I did put a big glob of grease here in this back part where it's got this grease zerk, for I wouldn't have to grease it after the fact. And the book said it had an O-ring on the end of this shaft here, just on the outer side of this once you push it on. It was now on there, and I just put one on out of my little kit that was tight enough to have some resistance on it sitting in there. So like I said, I had to lift the motor up with a pry bar just to get this drive shaft back in there. So we're going to try to get it hooked back up here. And I did clean the all the little teeth here on the transmission shaft here. Just got a wire brush and just cleaned it on both sides here, just not put the dirt back in there. Hopefully, if I have to do it again, it'll come off much easier next time. So hopefully it just slides on. Because it's at a awkward angle. It's just not a straight angle going in. It's kind of going in like this. Going on millimeter at a time. Okay, it's pushed back real far this time. That's going to help me with the front part, getting the yoke back on the front differential right there. So let me move you around so you can see. Okay, what I want to do in the front, I want to make sure the hole for the roll pin is lined up with this hole for in the yoke. Let me get some grease and grease that up before I put that on. Yeah, this grease will keep it from just rusting. That's the only thing I can see it do. In case you have to take it off again, you don't have to fight and fight and fight to get it off. Okay, that went on there easy enough. I'm gonna reuse this same roll pin. They tell you to put another one in, but I don't believe I have another one. I'm gonna have to wait till I lock down the front differential before I can get some beating room on it. Okay, we got that in. Now we're gonna put the screws back in the front differential here before it doesn't move, and then we can put the motor mount back on and the side engine motor mount. Alright guys, that's another project down. Those U-joints wasn't too bad. In my scale from 1 to 10, I put it probably like a 6.5, maybe a 7, depending on if you had a vise to be able to pull those, squeeze those caps back in, or a press or anything like that. Without those, you're probably gonna catch more hell than it's worth. So I would at least have a vise that I could use, or like I said, a press. I did the back ones with my press instead of the vise, and it was much harder using that press. The vise was pretty good if you got the one to go on straight. If you got them to start coming in straight, they wasn't too bad. But if they cocked any, 1 or 2 I caught hell on, but I did get through with it. And like I said, the other thing is, if you drop those caps and the needle bearings come out, don't get crazy. Just get you a small screwdriver or some kind of something that's small enough to put one in at a time, and you get them lined up. Then if you stick your pinky in there in the cap and straighten those bearings out inside of it, and like I said, it's a little grease to help. Don't put too much. I put too much in, and the bearing will stick to the actual screwdriver, whatever you're trying to do to get them to put back in there. But other than that, like I said, I think this is a doable job for almost anybody, and I'll put my links in the description on the U-joints that I use and where I got them from and that type thing. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you watching, and like I said, we're always doing something with the old baby here. She always needs something going on, so we're gonna try to keep her going. Like I said, hunting season coming up. I know I've been lacking on videos, but much hasn't been going on. But I'm finna get ready for food plots. That's why I'm getting her ready, for she can do some work down in at the camp to get the food plots together. So until those videos, guys, I appreciate you watching, and we out. I forgot one thing. I'm gonna put the couple of pages out of my fix-it book for this four-wheeler, for you guys can see what the book actually says, and you don't have to go out and buy it. So I deviated from the book a little bit, but I will post that at the end of this video for you guys can see it. You can pause it, whatever you need to do to see what the actual book says. So I just want to thank again, add that. Alright guys.